In the Shīrsha Upanishad, it is said that Krishna is very far away, but he is very near as well. Tadejati tannayajati taddure tadvantike tarantarasya sarvasya taru sarvasya sibayataha. And the way he's far away or near as well is by consciousness. As Prabhupada once pointed out, that he was sitting on the Vyasasana and also a bug was sitting there too. And he said, but what is the consciousness of the bug? And we may be chanting, but the effectiveness of our chanting is dependent on our consciousness. And so there are 10 offenses listed in the Shastra to avoid when chanting. There's also the admonition that one should be attentive while chanting. And Prabhupada also says that one can be attentive when one has a sense of love for Krishna. And following the process of chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa requires some adjustment to one's lifestyle and also consciousness, in that we remember that I'm helpless. As Kuntī says, let go of any sense that you have a maintainer or protector, and just take shelter of Krishna. Then your chanting will be effective. Janmaiśvarya-śruta-śrībhir edhamāna-madaḥ pumān naivārhaty akiñcana-gocaram. So it's the one opportunity we have. Of course, every moment's an opportunity, but this is very deliberate, to aim our consciousness like an arrow towards Krishna. And we can be very focused by feeling ourselves helpless. And as Caitanya Mahāprabhu said, tṛṇād su-nīcena, taror sahiṣṇunā, amāninā, māna-dena, kīrtanīyaḥ hariḥ. Being utterly dependent on Krishna and realizing our own ineptitude. So if we try chanting very deliberately, out of a sense of gratitude and love for Krishna, asking him to engage us in our service, which I mentioned the other day, and someone wrote to me and said, yeah, but what if we have enough service? Should we keep chanting? It was a child. And then I wrote back and I said, well, it doesn't literally mean please engage me in your service. It's the mood of the chanting to please engage me in your service. And if you already have as much service as you can handle, you should chant that, please let me refine that service so that it can be offered to you perfectly. In any case, it is the most intimate kind of connection with Krishna when we put our heart and mind into the process, and it's most highly recommended. And I was just reading this morning how Mukunda Maharaj had written, as he was interviewed for the Prabhupada Lilamrita, that Prabhupada said to him directly, you should chant 64 rounds a day, and Mukunda didn't say anything, because he was thinking, what? I can barely do 16. Then he said, you do 32. And still Mukunda didn't say anything, and then finally Prabhupada said, you do 16 rounds. But remember that this is the most important activity. So thank you very much, everyone, for giving this priority, and thanks for everyone who joined us online. And let's give it a shot to give full attention to the holy name, which is non-different from Krishna. Starting with the Panchatattva Maham Mantra. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Kṛṣṇa. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written about Sharanagati, or the process of surrender, sixfold process. And he describes through his bhajans the ways of accepting things that are favorable, rejecting things that are unfavorable, considering Krishna one's protector, maintainer, always remaining humble and offering everything. Atmā-nivādana, which is one of the 9 processes mentioned by Prahlād Maharaj in the verse that begins Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, etc. And the ideal mood for chanting japa is expressed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his song that begins Manasa Deho Geho Yo Kichumor. That's Arpulun Tuapade, Nanda Kishore. That whatever I have, my body, my mind, my family, my possessions, even myself, I offer to you, Krishna. And I was just thinking this morning as I was in my room chanting, I was looking around and there's so many things, too many things. I was remembering that when I was born in Kaiser Hospital in Walnut Creek, California, I came out helpless and I didn't have anything. Maybe I got Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Maybe I got a little rattle or something later, and one of those things. I don't know if I had one of those, probably. And then later, there's accumulation of many things, and one builds a cocoon and thinks, "Oh, these are my things. These are my family. This is my nation. This is important. That's important. Nothing's important except for Krishna, and we don't have anything." And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls us to sanity. Remember this point that everything is for Krishna. And if that's the mood of chanting, then it's highly effective chanting. Let's hear a few reflections from the devotees who came here this morning to chant Hare Kṛṣṇa. Should I give a topic? Any revelation, complaints?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, in the beginning you were mentioning that how Mukund Maharaj, I think Prabhupada gave the concession that from 64 to 32 and 16, and I was thinking that even 16 down, even I am not able to properly chant in one stretch. It's always so many distractions. And recently we were in New Dwarka Dham and we were able to meet with the great Sankirtan General, His Grace Savas Prabhu, and some devotees asked him like, "Okay Prabhu, you have like some top recommendation that you want to give?" So he gave two. The first three he gave. The first one was that you should have the mission in the life, the mission of your spiritual master or Prabhupada that you should attach. And the second thing he told that you should chant 16 rounds with one stretch without any diversion. And then I can see that it comes like when some person practice in their life and you hear from them, it rubs on you. That I could see that the weight that he told from his practice, and so that today when you brought this again 16 rounds, I thought is so relevant for us. Like we're practicing Krishna consciousness, but it's until we really put ourselves. In one lecture, you told that our body is why it is given is to pray. And the best prayer is the chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa Maham Mantra. So that's what I was thinking.
Pay your tax. Thank you very much, Mukarbind. Okay, Prem Nam. With a name like that, you should be able to comment.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Kṛṣṇa.
I was thinking that during chanting, we try to pray to constantly bring our mind back to the mantra, to the sound vibration. And that's how I should be praying throughout the day to constantly bring my mind back to this concept of Atmi Nivedana, instead of letting my mind wander throughout the day and then only during japa bring it back. But the whole day, the whole night, there should be this exercise of bringing my mind back, bringing my mind back, bringing my mind back. And that will then probably improve my japa as well.
Yeah, that's a nice point. And Prabhupada mentions it in the verse in the 9th chapter of the Gita, Shri Prabhavati Dharmatma, that you should learn to chant without stoppage. Does anybody have one more quick one? We have 2 minutes.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji. So I was reading in the morning Nam Ramayana by Shubh-Vilas Prabhu, and there's a story of Vibhishan coming to Lord Ram for surrender, and the word he used in the purport was akiñcana. So I really reflected that, how we can approach the holy name in that mood of being a beggar and really feeling like I need shelter from you.
Thank you. Kinchana means something. Akiñcana means I don't have anything. And that's Queen Kuntī's advice, as I mentioned in the beginning. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Caitanya Mahāprabhu, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev, if you so desire, please empower everyone in our community to make japa the focal point of his or her life, and may we have collective spiritual strength by perfecting every day our japa. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone who agrees with this prayer, in whole or in part, please say Hare Kṛṣṇa.